Let's have a look. This diagram shows the plan of a field. So this is a field. Emre is going to keep some cows in the field. Some. What's that mean? It means an unknown is probably going to be involved in the question. If you see the word some in maths, it normally means something we need to find out. Some cows in the field. Each cow needs an area of 28 square meters. Work out the greatest number of cows that Emre can keep in the field. Right, bam. Let's have a look at this question. I'm not certain what to do, but I know this is the field. I know there's something to do with the cows because it says some cows, often a good sign. I know that each cow needs an area, so it's an area question of 28 square meters. That just means 28 meters squared. And you can see these are already in meters as well. Now, if I had no idea what to do, I'd firstly go, well, this is a 4-mark question, so I should give a bit of time to it. In fact, I should give 4 minutes, a minute a mark. So I need to give myself at least a minute or two having a go, even if you have no idea. My first step with this sort of question would be, oh, look, it's saying area. This is, I've got a shape. Maybe it's involved finding the area of the shape first. So even if you're uncertain on what to do, often it's good to just use the keywords and have a go. Literally, sometimes just whacking into a question like this can often give you the answer. What's really nice about this is 1 mark. I've split it up into 2 rectangles. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've got 1 mark for splitting up into rectangles. Bam, 4 marks. Look at that. No idea what I'm doing. 14 times 9. That's pretty much my entire life. 14 times 9 to work out the area of this rectangle. Because remember, this is the base of this rectangle. This is the height. And base times height, area. 14 times 9. Well, I could show you how I'm going to do it, but instead I'm just going to do it in my head. So 90 plus 36. So that's 126 meters squared. So this one is 126 meters squared. Then this one, oh, I've got an unknown length. I know the height of it is 12 meters, but I don't know the base of this. So this is my unknown. How am I going to find this? That's a question mark, not a 2. Well, firstly, I know the entire length of all this is 20. I know this part is 14. So I need something plus 14 to equal 20. So what add 14 makes 20? It's 6. So my base is 6. My height is 12. So I do 6 times 12, which would give me 72 meters squared. Boom. There we go. I believe that's the 2nd mark as well. 2nd mark. So my total area, 72 plus 126, and this in fact is the 2nd mark, should be 198 meters squared. So I now know the area of the field. Some cows in the field, they need to be in the area of 28 square meters. So as you can see, I've just dove into that question and I've got 2 marks without me really knowing what to do. Each cow needs an area of 28 square meters. So for each 28 meters, I can get 1 cow. Well, if I know this field is 198 meters squared, then that means I'm just going to see how many times 28 goes into 198. Because if you think about it, if the field had an area of 28 meters squared, that's 1 cow. 2 cows is going to have the area of 56 meters squared. So I'm just going to do 198 divided by 28 meters squared. So there are 2 ways I could do this. I could write my 28 times tables, or I could use the multiplication method. In this case, I'm just going to write my 28 times tables. Slash, I've done it. So 1 cow needs 28 meters squared to this, and as you can see, 4 cows need 112, 7 cows 196, 224. I've got 198 meters squared, so I know 7 cows can fit into that, because this is smaller. But I know 8 cows aren't going to have enough space, because they all need at least 28 square meters, so my answer is going to be 7 cows. Look at that. The final 2 marks, 28 times tables, after just randomly doing some guesswork. So it's really good. Have a go. I can't emphasize that. The more you have a go, the more likely you're going to get it. Question 26. This shape is built from identical squares. The perimeter of the whole shape is 48 meters. Find the perimeter of the central square. Show how you found your solution. So what this means is putting the answer and no working out will not get you all the marks. You need to be showing your workings here. You should always show your working. So that part is irrelevant. We don't need to really worry about it. You should always do that. Now, the shape is built from identical squares. So it's really important with this sort of question just to really think, and it's worth 3 marks, it's worth thinking about it, just what each of the key words means. Identical squares, that means all the square lengths are all the same, right? So this, these are all the same. Every single side length on this entire thing is all the same. The perimeter, so the outside lengths, this length plus this length, 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 and this one is 48 meters. So, and I want to find the perimeter of the central square. So if I'm certain, I need to work out the lengths of all these 4 sides, or basically I need to work out the perimeter of any of these squares because they're all identical, right? So how am I going to do that? Well, I need to work out what one of the lengths is first, really. If I'm uncertain about this, I just start thinking about stuff I know. So in this case, I know that all these lengths add up to 48. So if I want to work out one side length, then I just work out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 identical sides equal 48. Well, if I know 12 identical sides equal 48, then I can just do 48 divided by 12. What's 48 divided by 12? Well, I could write my 12 times tables up. Or I could use the bus stop method, whichever you prefer, to find that each side length is worth 4. Cool, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters. If I know that each side length is 4, now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters. The perimeter of this shape in the middle must be 4 times 4, which is 16, or 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16 meters. Remember, units, meters. So my answer would be 16 meters. As with all the problem solving questions, first thing to do is just work out stuff you know. Like if you have no idea what it's really asking you, it tells you perimeter of the whole shape is 48, work out what one side length is and then see what you get from there. It's always worth just having a go, because a lot of the time I find when I'm doing a problem solving question, I don't actually know how I'm going to get to the answer until partway through it. I'm just sort of randomly having a stab in the dark, and that normally helps me get there. So don't feel like if you look at these sort of questions, you go, I have no idea, leave it. Think that most people do not have any idea when they start. Your idea gets more clear as you're going through your method. That's the end of section 2. That's the end of the compulsory questions. Well done to you. You are the person who has decided to stay on going further and further, listening to my voice more and more, which I greatly admire because I could barely do that. So well done. So section 3 is all the stuff which we haven't been taught but we'll do later on in the year, just to see what you know. So say I've got 6 11ths, take away 3 8ths. Well, what this means is that I need to make these two denominators the same. When I'm adding or subtracting fractions, the denominators need to be the same. Now I'm going to show you the method I use. You've probably been taught something different because there's 1,000,001 different ways of adding and subtracting fractions. I'll just show you my way. What I do is I look for a number that both 8 and 11 go into that they're factors of. The way I do that is I'm just going to multiply them together. So I'm going to times 11 by 8 to give me 88, and 8 by 11 to give me 88. Now, what I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator as well. So if I've times 11 by 8 to get 88, I can look here, yeah. Now I need to times 6 by 8 as well. What's 6 times 8? It's 48. Then I do 3. What if I times 8 by to get to 88? I've times it by 11. So now I need to do 3 multiplied by 11, which is 33. And that gives me the answer of over 88, because to keep my denominator the same, 48 take away 33, which is 15. And that's my answer. So then I'd write 15 over 88. Before I did that, I'd quickly check, can I simplify? Are there any numbers that both go into 15 and 88? In this case, there aren't. So I'm done. Question 28. Write the following in descending. So descending means going down. Descending, I descend the stairs. Descending order. Now, as you can see, this one hasn't come out very well in printing either. So when I'm uncertain about this, I'm just going to rewrite it. I'd ask the teacher to tell me what they mean, and then I'd rewrite it nice and clear. So I've got 3 and 2/3, 3 and 3/5, 2 and 9/10, 3 and 1/4, 4 and 2/9. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to ignore the fractions because all these are mixed numbers, right? So I've got 3, 3, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to write largest, smallest, to help me remember to write them in the right order. I know that it's the largest first because it's descending. I know that 4 and 2/9 is the largest because 4 is larger than 3, larger than 2, larger than 3, larger than 3. And the fractions are smaller than a whole number. So in this case, 4 and 2/9 has to be the largest just because 4 is bigger than 3 and 2. And by that logic as well, you might be able to spot the smallest one already. It's going to be 2 and 9/10. Because 2 is smaller than 3. Then I'm just going to write these 3. So I've got 2, 3 and 2/3, 3 and 3/5, and 3 and 1/4. Now, how am I going to work these ones out? The way I do it is I make them into decimals. So using my knowledge of decimals, I know 1/4 is 0.25. I'm just ignoring the 3's right now, by the way, because I know 3's are all equal. So I just write, I know 1/4 is 0.25. I know 3/5 is the same as 6/10, which is the same as 0.6. And 2/3 is 0.666, or 6 reoccurring. So I know that 0.25 is smaller than 0.6, smaller than 0.666. So this is the next largest one. And I cross that off as I go. So this should be 3 and 2/3. The next one, this is the next one, because 0.6 is bigger than 0.25. I'd rather have 60p than 25p. So 3 and 3/5. And then 3 and 1/4 comes next. If you're uncertain about these parts, I haven't really taught it. We're not going to be doing this for quite a long time, but I'll try and find some better links at some point. That would be my largest, smallest. I would write it on the dotted line, but instead I'm just going to make it clear here because my handwriting is quite big. Make sure it's really clear to the examiner. I've used them all. There's 5 numbers, and there's 5 numbers in my answer. Make sure you always put all 5 in.